For this lesson, we'll be doing Module 4, Lesson 10. We're going to start by looking at an angle that's already been drawn for us, and we're going to have to write an equation to help us solve for it. So, question 2 says angle, remember, this symbol equals angle. So we have angle GFE. So we have angle GFE. I'm just tracing it. Remember, F is in the middle, so F is really the angle we are talking about, is a right angle. So we need to think, what does a right angle equal? Right angle equals 90 degrees. So the total for this angle is going to be 90 degrees. I'm going to come down here where my equation is. I'm going to fill in 90 degrees just to start. You'll see why in the end why this makes sense. So we have 90 degrees. If we look, I'm going to change colors. I'm going to highlight it actually. If we look, that right angle has actually been split up into two angles now. One of these angles, luckily, we've already been told, which is 20 degrees. So I'm going to come over here and write it over. So we have 20 degrees plus some unknown number equals 90 degrees. That unknown number is actually this number over here, which is x. So we don't know how many degrees x is. Well, we know the total is 90, and we know one part is 20. So we can use our math brains here really to figure this out. We don't even need a protractor. So if we want to find the missing part or the difference, we could think of subtraction. So we're going to take 90 degrees. Notice how I wrote my degree sign so I don't forget. Minus 20 degrees, the part we know. Put your degree mark down. 0 take away 0 is 0. Luckily, the smaller number is already on the bottom. 9 take away 2 is 7. So we get an answer of 70 degrees. I'm going to come over in my picture now. Fill it in with 70 degrees. And the degree measure of angle x, or the degree measure of part x is 70 degrees. So all we did was find the missing part by using what we already know. The big thing that we had to know in this question is how many degrees a right angle is. Because if they just gave us 20 and we don't know what a right angle is, that's not going to really help us. So again, we found it using subtraction to find the missing part. Very straightforward. For the next question, we have angle MNO is a straight angle. So I'm going to just trace it quickly. MNO is a straight angle. Well, we've talked about straight angles before. We could think about if we had our protractor perfectly flat. If we have a protractor perfectly flat, we have 0 degrees and 180 degrees. It's pretty obvious what degree measure that would be, which is 180. So we know a straight angle is 180 degrees. Again, one of those measurements you kind of just need to memorize, like we talked about with right angles. So now I'm going to come over and I'm going to put my answer in. This is the total for the whole angle is 180 degrees. Again, very similar. They've split it up into two parts. One part is 83 degrees, and this other part over here, I don't actually know yet. So we have 83 degrees plus some missing part, which is this x over here, will equal 180 degrees. So again, we're trying to do the same exact thing. We're just trying to find the missing part. So we're going to take 180 degrees. Notice how I wrote my degree mark, minus 83 degrees. I'm going to put my degree measure down here where my answer is so I don't forget. So I have 0 take away 3. I cannot do that because the bigger number is on the bottom. So I have to regroup. 8 becomes 7. 0 becomes 10. Now I can go ahead and subtract. 10 take away 3 is 7. Now I come to the next part. I have 7 take away 8. Again, the bigger number is on the bottom, so we have to work a little bit more. I'm going to come over here where this 1 is, cross that out, make that a 0. This 7 needs to become 17. Now I have 17 take away 8, which is 9. I have a 0, there's nothing there, so I got an answer of 97 degrees. I'm going to come up here and write it back in. And the degree measure of x is 97 degrees. Now, because this is an equation, they are using a letter. So if you notice in every single equation I've had to solve, they've used a letter. That letter in this question is x, and this letter over here again is x. So whenever I write an equation, I must use the letter. Just one of those rules we'll talk about in math more in class that we have to know. So again, things we had to remember for this lesson. A right angle is 90 degrees to help us. And a straight angle is 180 degrees. If you know those two measurements, this is not a very difficult lesson at all.